Shalom, shalom. This week's parsha is Parshat Balak. You see the picture of the donkey? I actually took that picture myself, and I'm only using it not because I'm talking about the donkey, but because I actually took the picture and I'm proud because I have it. But I digress. Let's speak about what happened in Parshat Balak. So, as we know, the Israelites were on their way, headed towards Israel, and they were engaged in battles and they were being successful. And Balak, the king of Moab, was very fearful. He knew he had no chance in battle against these people that have God with them. And he realized that he can't win the battle, that the only way he might succeed is because they have God with them, is to have God want to curse them, to have a curse on the people, because he wasn't going to be successful in the battle. So he goes to Bilam because Bilam is known to be able to, whoever he blesses is blessed and whoever he curses is cursed. And he thinks this is his ticket. Balak thinks this is his ticket to not be decimated. Bilam first tells him, after consulting with God, he sends messengers, says, we cannot do this. God said these people are blessed. There's no way I can have these people cursed. Balak is very persistent. Bilam ends up going in the end. And when he gets there, Balak takes him to curse the people. Now, in the narrative, it tells us quite a few times this word, the edge of the camp, the ktseh, that Balak took Bilam up to a high mountain, and he said, where you can see the edge of the encampment, and he says to curse them there. So they take all these sacrifices, and Bilam goes, and he's going to try and curse the people, because it's important when cursing the nation that he has his focal point is to look at and to see something that he can hone in on, that this curse can attach itself to. And Balak thought if he goes to the edge of the camp, that's the best place to possibly to see that, to look at, to have a curse be able to occur. Now, why is this? In my estimation, the reason why this is because the way that Israel had their encampment, we're told in the center was the tabernacle, and the centermost center is the Aron HaKodesh, which we're told that God's presence resides, whenever they wanted to communicate with God, that the voice of God would come out of the Aron to the Kohen Gadol. But that's the holiest of holies. And then from the outside, you have the Kohanim, then you have the Leviim, then you have the tribes surrounding. And Balak thinks if he gets, the edge of the camp where people don't want or aren't closest to the holiness, closest to God, is most likely he'll be most successful if that's where the focus and attention is. Because the closer you get to the center where God is, he knew he wasn't going to be successful, because they knew God is with these people and that's why they're winning. And so to curse them, they have to go get around that. And so he has Bilam focus in on the edge of the camp. But what happens? Bilam he does the sacrifices, he goes off, he tries to curse the people, but of course, God does not allow it, and a blessing comes out of his mouth. Balak is now livid. He says, what are you doing? You're blessing these people. I want you to curse them. So he takes him to a different spot. And again, with all the sacrifices to give. And he says, this time I'm taking you to a different spot where you can only see the edge of the people. You can't see the full camp. You'll only be able to see the edge of the people. Maybe now you'll be successful. Because perhaps I think he was thinking maybe then you had too much of a vantage of the good and the bad, and that was affecting the curse. Now, if you just look at the end, just look at the rabble rousers, the people on the edge, the people don't want to be close to the holiest of holies, that maybe they're vulnerable. But again, Bilam is not successful. God puts a blessing through his mouth and he blesses people. This happens even the third time. Bilam already knows there's no way he's going to be successful, and out of his own mouth, with Ruach HaKodesh, with a divine spirit coming through him, he ends up with this beautiful song, Tovu Ahalach Yaakov, how goodly are your tents, speaking about the nation of Israel. And it talks about these beautiful words in the blessings, talk about how the tribes are and how their tents are and how they live together, and that it says in the narrative quite a few times in this parsha how the people are blessed, and that God, once He blesses the people, He's not going to take back His word. He's not a man. He blessed the people. They are blessed. They are not going to be able to be cursed, period. And then we're told this story about how the Israelites, after that, took to committing harlotry with the Moabites, and we're told this story even about, well, they started with this Baal Peor, which is an idol, and they drew them in with the harlotry and had them serve the idols, and God was angry, and Moshe was, they were about to get to punish them, and we're told about the story how a man takes this Midianite woman in front of Moshe to cohabit with him, like in your face, sin with this woman. What is going on here? And especially after we're just told about everything that they're so great and holy and family oriented and their tents and everything. What's going on here? Um, so we're told that after Bilam, the Chazal say, after Bilam could not curse them, that he gave a bit of advice to Balak that the way to get these people down is to, God hates sexual immorality, and if you can manage to like bring them down that way, try that. So what I think happened, and it makes perfect sense, is I think that what they did was they took the information they knew, because we're told this man, from the Israelite man from the tribe of Shimon, there was Zimri and Cusby. So there's a man from the tribe of Shimon who took this Midianite princess. She was on the highest up. She was on the top of the rulers of the nation. And they knew, because they knew this whole thing. Balak went to the Midianites and said, these people, the Israelites, they're going to be the source of our doom. And he instilled them with fear. And he was in cahoots with the Moabites, and the Midianites were in cahoots to bring Israel down. So the leaders of the nation knew. They knew what happened with Balak. They knew that Balak um, told Bilam, and Bilam couldn't curse the people. And they knew that the reason why he couldn't curse the people was because of this, that they were blessed because of their home life, of their togetherness, of their purity. And what I think they did was they worked on the people, because it said that they're blessed and that's it, they can't be cursed. And I think they convinced, first they enticed these beautiful, sexy women, enticed the men, and they said, "Don't worry, nothing's gonna like happen to you." Bilam, who's the prophet who spoke to God, says nothing can happen to you. You're blessed. You're not going to be able to be cursed. You are in good. You can do whatever you want. Don't worry about it. You're okay. And the people, I think they got cocky and they felt, oh yeah, we're blessed, and they fell for this uh, hook, line, and sinker, because I'm sure it was a strong pull with these women who are really enticing them with all their powers. And men will be men, a little bit weak sometimes. So they use that. And I think that this is a problem with us always, is our downfall, is we think sometimes that we have it good, and we think we're infallible, and we think, okay, now, what's going to happen? Like nowadays, that concerns me very much. So many times I see in Israel that people think, well, we have our country, we got it back, we're invincible. No, you're not invincible. You're good as long as you act with morals and ethically and morally, and you're good people, but you're not invincible. God blessed you, yes. He gave you a nation, yes, but you can lose it any moment if you just destroy your family life for nothing, for just cheap thrills, or you want to be with the nations that are the thing now, you know, and it's just, it's so simple, but desires can be so strong sometimes, and people fall for it all the time. Whatever the desire might be, a woman, something, money, power, whatever it is, our nation is not invincible at all. We are Israel is very strong and very powerful when we have God on our side. But in order to have God on our side, we have to be conducting ourselves morally and ethically, and keep the family unit strong. Remember what's important. Remember what means something. And only that way will we continue to be blessed. Now, with that, I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.